Peace Public, and I am Bro.Nasir. Some very interesting events occurred yesterday, January 6, 2021, as Congress and the Senate were convening in the Capitol building. Donald Trump called some protesters to the Capitol building to actually stir up trouble and to actually storm the building. And one of the protesters was shot to death as she, along with hundreds of other people, stormed the Capitol building. Now, if it was black people, we would have been murdered wholesale. Now, there are events that's been occurring for centuries, but we don't bring it up to today. We don't behave like that. We don't do that when we protest black people, men, women, and children are murdered by, whether it's a race soldier on the payroll or a race soldier just walking the street, meaning police or white supremacists. We don't behave that way when we're protesting the murders of black people. Now, when we do protest, they send in their agent provocateurs to stir up trouble. The same people that we saw on the mall yesterday and at the Capitol building yesterday, they would have shot us when we scaled the wall. We would not have made it up that wall. Now, they used mace for the protesters outside of the mall. Now, one Caucasian woman was shot and killed by Capitol Police when they were inside of the Capitol building. Yet, if we had stormed, as black people, if we had stormed the Capitol building, they would have murdered us when we started scaling that wall. And they certainly wouldn't have done this.
Out here, going inside the building, occupying the balconies, occupying the center steps, and also the south end steps and the north end steps of the east side of the Capitol here. Now you see the police kind of.
Now, if we had stormed and breached the Capitol building, whether we were young people or our elderly, they certainly wouldn't have helped us down the steps by holding our hand. More than likely, our elderly, our women and children would have been pushed down the steps. And it's sickening that these people thought that they were doing the right thing. Yet, I do not concern myself with Satan, casting out Satan. It's, to me, a good thing. I'm not fretting over what they're doing. I'm just merely saying what they're doing and what it would have been like if it was black people doing it. I'm making a comparison to if it was us. Now, it was a Puerto Rican sister back in 1954 by the name of Lolita LeBron, who led an attack on the U.S. House of Representatives March 1st, 1954, with 3 other men, Rafael Cancel Miranda, Andres Figueroa Cordero, and Irvin Flores Rodriguez. More than 240 members of the House were debating an immigration bill when bullets started whizzing overhead, slamming into marbles, splintering wood everywhere. House members were sliding under desks and running for exits. Witness said they could hear Lolita's voice above the commotion, and it was a shrill, chilling sound. Viva Puerto Rico, Lable. Long live free Puerto Rico, she yelled as she and her compatriots unfurled a Puerto Rican flag and blasted away with Lugers and an automatic pistol. Police found a handwritten note in her purse alongside with some lipstick and bromo seltzer tablets. Before God and the world, my blood claims for the independence of Puerto Rico. My life I give for the freedom of my country. This is a cry for victory in our struggle for independence. The United States of America are betraying the sacred principles of mankind in their continuous subjugation of my country. I take responsible for all. All attackers were given minimum sentences of 70 years in prison, and after spending 25 years in prison, they were pardoned by Jimmy Carter in 1979. Now, we're going to see who goes to jail, who are punished for this act. Now, I don't care about them storming. I don't care about them storming the Capitol building. I just want to see who is punished, because the black man and woman can't sneeze in a pepper factory without them throwing us in jail or murdering us. All they pulled out, besides the white woman getting shot when they actually breached the Capitol building, they pulled out mace and started spraying them with mace. And there's one video out that's showing them actually opening up the barricade and appeared to be marching with the so-called protesters, these Caucasian domestic terrorists. Check this out.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again.
Now listen to the response from these hick, hillbilly, numbskulls, domestic terrorists, when the reporter asked them how they felt about what was going on and their sentiments, whether it was right or wrong. Listen to their response.
Are you proud of what happened here today?
Absolutely. I think we should have gone on in and yanked our senators out by the hair of the head and drug them out and said, no more.
Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
The entire D.C. National Guard, thousands of troops here in the nation's capital. The entire National Guard has been activated by the U.S. Department of Defense following this mob that has attacked the U.S. Capitol.
Are you proud of what happened here today?
I'm absolutely stand behind 100% what happened here today. 1,000%. I think it's terrible how this election was stolen. And I had to come here and do my patriotic duty.
You guys just left the Capitol grounds?
Yep.
Are you proud of the scenes that played out here today?
I'm not proud of it. I'm humbled by it, and that I'm excited that for 1776, the We the People movement is moving forward. It's sad. It's sad that it has to happen.
Are you proud of what happened here today?
I'm proud that the Patriots came out today to show their support for our president, because Donald Trump is our president.
Well, I mean, but what does this achieve, this violence?
Are we violent?
There's no violence.
Nobody's been violent.
Protest.
People have been hurt.
There's not by anybody here.
You're wrong.
There's been no violence.
Is this really a way that a president should be behaving after losing?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, it's time that they clear out the swamp. We're paying to have them cheat and steal from us constantly.
That's right.
We're over it. No more.
And we're peaceful. And yeah, we're peaceful.
We're not
we will not be silenced, though.
Is this an appropriate way to be behaving after losing an election?
Absolutely. We have to, as American patriots, we have to do what we can to take back this country.
4 people are dead. This is the result of the mob storming the Capitol. The mob sent there by the President of the United States. CNN's Ellie Reeve was in the thick of it all. She joins us live from Washington. And Ellie, you really captured this crowd of insurrectionists surrounding the Capitol. You can even see someone scaling the scaffolding. What was it like on the ground?
It really was a mob, in that there was a frenzy and that people's emotions were contagious. They were really, really happy to be with each other, and it encouraged them to do things that I don't know that they would do in normal life. There were older people climbing over stairs, climbing up walls, even though if they'd used their brains for a moment, they could have walked around and gone up the stairs.
You also, as you do, talked to them. What did they say?
Yes. So almost every single person I talked to firmly believed that the election was stolen. It's not a joke. It's not cynical. They really, really believe it. Some of them believed that Trump would be sworn in as in the next administration, and also thought there would be tribunals of Democratic leaders. One man I talked to had pushed through the barricades and described the police macing them and him fighting back. And I was like, what's the point? And he said, what's the point? Like, this is our only choice. This is the only option we have. The Supreme Court doesn't have our backs. This is 1776.
What was the mix of people that you saw there?
So this was a more older crowd than you usually see in a protest. There were young, like 20-year-olds there, but a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, a lot of people who spend a lot of time on Facebook. It was a little bit more diverse than you might expect, in part because there were a lot of QAnon supporters there, and QAnon is actually a pretty diverse conspiracy theory.
And is that how they were radicalized, Facebook? Or are these, Fox watchers? Or are these Newsmax watchers? How did they become so crazy?
Social media, YouTube. There are other websites that'll host videos that YouTube takes down. One particularly common one is called Follow the Cabal, which is a really pretty insane conspiracy theory that touches on the oldest anti-Semitic tropes. But this really radicalized a lot of people to QAnon this year.
They stormed the Capitol. Was there an intent to target members of Congress directly, or was there something they planned to do if they reached members of Congress?
That I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people were just going with the crowd. I spoke to several groups who were, as they were preparing to come here, a lot of them talked about violence in terms of protecting themselves from Antifa, which largely did not show up. But they talked about having, using clips instead of brass knuckles, that kind of thing. I did talk to one person who had alluded to thousands of people storming the Capitol. He said maybe you could disarm 1,000 people, but not 200,000. But I don't know of any overarching plan to attack members of Congress.
Now, when we're protesting, we have police officers agitating. We have police officers trying to start fights, start confrontations with us when we're protesting. And they try to find excuses to put one of us in jail. Now, they walked in front of these Caucasian domestic terrorists who breached the barricade. It looks like to me that they opened the barricade for them and marched in front of them. And one video was a sister, I don't know why she was standing in that crowd. She was standing in the crowd and somebody put their hands on her some kind of way. And she threw a nice hook and caught a white girl. And some Caucasian men carted her away. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of white people swarmed her. I don't know if they swarmed her to take her out to safety, but it looked like they swarmed her to do harm to her, because before they swarmed her, somebody threw a punch. I don't know the capacity as far as occupation the sister were doing, if she was at work or not, but she should have taken a day off. We should not get in the middle of these people destroying themselves. When we see them doing something like this, we shouldn't concern ourselves with it. It's not our business. It's not going to affect us. You know what affects us? What we allow to affect us because of our lack of unity, our lack of knowledge. That's what affects us. But when we see them fighting among each other, infighting, you don't get involved with that. It's not your business, because what it is one oppressor fighting against the other. Let them destroy themselves. Now, I'll always use this example. If you are a rape victim, you have two rapists and you're a rape victim, and both of them start fighting among each other, you don't break up the fight. You don't try to solve their problem. Why? Because it's your chance to escape while they're fighting. While they're killing each other, it's your chance to escape. Let them do what they're doing so we can escape. What we should have been doing is just watching from afar. Don't get involved. Don't go. Watch them and behold them and rejoice that they're destroying each other. Because some of us want nearness to them. And it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us. Wanting nearness to our open and consistent enemy has already cost us. And some of our people are actually worried about the outcome of this foolishness. Just let them do what they're doing. because the end game will be beneficial to us. Don't let Roland Martin and all these fools make you think that we have somebody benevolent coming into the office a week or two from now. Same kind of man is coming in there. He's more sneaky though. Biden is more sneaky. Donald Trump will stab you in your chest. Biden will sneak up behind you and stab you in the back. That's the only difference between them two. They're equally as evil. Yet this what's going on in D.C., it's not our concern. Let them do that. Cheer them on. It's like watching a fight and you don't know neither one of the fighters, so who are you going to cheer for? You just hope one of them get knocked out. Or it's a horse race. You cannot win when you don't have a horse in the race. So don't cheer for no particular horse. We don't supposed to do that because we're not going to be the winner regardless concerning their infighting. We'll be the winner as a result of them destroying themselves. Because while they're infighting, we could be getting ourselves together. See, that's the problem. We want to break up their fight when we're not together as a people. Let them keep fighting so it can take the attention off us. And these race soldiers can take a break from murdering and harming and oppressing us. Now, they stormed the Capitol building. They went into the office where they were convening. And some of the people made themselves at home. How far do you think we would have gotten if it was us? Again, they would have shot us off the wall. What probably would have happened is they probably would have deployed some helicopter gunships and they probably would have hovered over us and just, they trained to just spin around and just shoot everything in sight. That's what probably would have happened to us. It probably would have been a outright massacre in D.C. And we have to actually question, why was the police so passive? Why they had so much restraint when it came to dealing with these stupid behind people. I called it the Million Idiot March, but it wasn't nowhere near a million people there. I just said that, to insult the numbskulls. They actually think that they could overturn what the globalists set forth. Once the globalists pick their man, there's nothing you can do. Biden is their man for the next 4 years. Well, as long as he lasts, he's their man. And there's nothing none of us can do about it. So that's why black people shouldn't concern themselves with who's in that office. If we have and get our act together, it doesn't matter who's president. Because if we're correct and we're united, we're on code, on one accord, looking out for each other, securing each other, it doesn't matter who's in that office. Because whether he's in or out, it wouldn't affect us because we're handling our business. We have to get to handling our business, so we can't wait. We already know we can't depend on a benevolent white man or woman to do for us. We can't because they don't exist. There's no freak of nature when it comes to white people or unlike when it comes to them. No. No. They're all alike. And they're not going to come to save us because it's not their job. It's our job to contribute to our salvation. No one's going to do it for us. We can bring the true and living God forth just by getting off our backsides and doing something about our condition. We can tell by our condition whether or not God is present. God is present because he sees us mobilizing. And he's going to be ever present once we start doing something about our condition. We know what the condition is now. But once we start doing something, once we make up our mind that enough is enough, Allah's sufficient, all I need is my people and Allah, it's a done deal for our enemy once that happens. A done deal. Yet, we have too many of our people who want nearness to our enemy. And we wonder why our people don't come up. Because we have Negroes like Roland Martin who mobilize our people, who was traveling all the way to Georgia from Texas to get our people to vote for some people in Georgia. As if people in Georgia give a damn about black people. We have, with a black mayor in Atlanta, and most of these municipalities have black police chiefs who don't give a damn about their own people. Very little of them do, but overall, they don't give a damn about their own people. And when you have that type of behavior going on with black police chiefs, black police directors, and black people are still being murdered, that says a lot. It says a lot. When the mayor is black in a city and he can't even stop racist white people from shooting down black people, racist white cops from violating the rights of their own people. Why? Because most of them only want to be a good nigga. Just want to be a good nigga. That's all. And we don't have no time for niggas. No time. If you're not with us, if you're not with the liberation and salvation of the black nation, you're not my brother. You're not my sister. I don't want to have no one call themselves my family when they want to include others. Every time you speak to them about us coming together, they want to include others, and they want to be so inclusive and impartial. No. When you're in a situation when it's us or them, we gotta make it us. I'm not saying going out here and slaughtering nobody. Yet, the only right that no one can take from us, that's rightfully ours, is ours exclusively, is the right to defend ourselves. Our personal real estate, our brain, our personal real estate. No one can take that from us. Yet, we will go to war with each other. Drop of a dime. We retaliate when it comes to each other. we say in so-called gang culture that if one of our brothers on this side gets shot, somebody from the other side has to fall. They have to fall. Yet we don't use that same mentality or that same energy when it comes to people just victimizing us and murdering us wholesale. We don't use the same energy. We have to make up our minds if we are to survive. Now, whenever a man, a Caucasian police officer is beating a black woman, that should make your whole entire being cringe. I know when I see it, I'm like, I couldn't have been there. They would have to shoot me. And I know they probably would have, but they would have to do it. So that's not our business, them storming their Capitol building. I don't care if they storm every Capitol building in every state. I don't care. I don't care. It's Satan casting out Satan. And you know what that means? The end is near. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Check out the new channel. It's called Think. And it's going to have a lot of different school of thoughts. And a lot of teachers coming to that channel. Peace and many blessings.